So Jacob,
Yes,
do you got yourself a drink?
I do. I got a cider sitting in front of me.
Hell yeah. Are you ready to kick back and relax and kind of explain what the fuck we're doing here today?
Sure. What are we doing here, Rich?
Drinking.
Drinking, huh?
Drinking. We're getting our drink on, motherfucker. What we're here to do is what we do every year, which is this ridiculous thing where we pick a random old school game from our childhood and kind of play it co-op or play at the same time, kind of like we do Final Fantasy, and just almost do like a Twitch style stream or something, but stupidly audio only because we're ridiculous like that. But you'll just hear our commentary on the games while we're playing them, and also while we're doing these, we're going to just kind of reminisce on our kind of like what we call our top 10 things from the last year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And those top 10 things can be anything. It doesn't have to be games. It doesn't have to be media. It could be anything. Just top 10 anything. Your favorite catch up from the year. Your favorite bowel movement.
My favorite bowel movement.
That's what I have to expect out of you. Like just every year. I expect something to that level.
Well, challenge accepted now.
I unfortunately, as soon as the words escaped my lips, I knew I was asking for something that was just gonna haunt me. So, what game are we gonna do this year while we're kicking back with drinks and celebrating the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023?
We are playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection.
That's right, and I figured we would mostly do the Turtles in Time. Now, whether we're doing the arcade version or the Super Nintendo version, I'll kind of leave that up to you. But yeah, that is kind of or the arcade game, the original arcade game, Turtles in Time.
I'm confused.
What?
So there are three versions of Turtles in Time out there.
Yeah, there's two.
I only see two.
Yeah, well, if you go into online, those are the ones we're going to sync together.
Right.
Yeah, so Turtles in Time on the cabinet, that's the arcade version, and then there's Turtles in Time, Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, which is the Super Nintendo version.
Okay.
And that's the two. But then the very first one is just the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is also known as the arcade game, which it's one we got on Nintendo as Turtles 2. But it was like downgraded, so the arcade version is much better. For whatever reason, they didn't make the Nintendo one online co-op, but you have the arcade version, which is far superior. So
yeah, I'm seeing that a little bit.
Yeah, you see the little arcade, you see the little like icons underneath the name that references what system it was for.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. There's like a selection that is available for online multiplayer.
Right. I automatically assumed Turtles 2, the arcade game, was part of the online collection, and it's not. So
yeah, just yeah.
My site there. So
while I find that weird, I find it extra weird that Turtles 3: The Manhattan Project isn't.
Yeah,
I loved that one. So
well, and I remember I loved the second one. I played the Manhattan Project. It was okay. It was a good game. I have more distinct memories of the arcade game than I do than any of the others though.
Oh, same.
And Turtles in Time, I have some. One of them was I've never figured out how you could throw enemies at the screen, but you could do that with the Super Nintendo version.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna send you an invite to Turtles Arcade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the champion you are.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
You can count on me. Sending the invite now.
I wonder how I accept that invite. Well, maybe it'll pop
I am.
up. I don't even know who I'm going to be yet. I have a very important question for you, though.
Yeah.
And it is the most important question. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I want to make sure I give it the proper gravity.
Understood.
How important this question really is. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Who's your favorite turtle?
Raphael, by far. In other words, I have to be Raphael in this. It's not up for debate. I have to be Raph.
So
This is like a Wolverine level like argument. Like
okay.
like
I will mention that in like Turtles 2 the arcade game, there was a moment I was playing with my buddy, the next door neighbor at the time, and we were playing this game, and I went is the phrase that we've coined, retard angry.
oh yeah.
On I can't think of a stinking name, the crocodile. He was in a level with Raphael. Mm-hmm. I just soloed it, even though there was two of us.
Oh yeah.
And he has this drill move.
Yes. Where he would dive forward. Yeah.
And yeah, but the thing about it is it took away health too in the process. So yeah.
What? Okay. Here we go.
So yeah, it was. I took him on by myself. I was so angry at that alligator.
The what is his name? The alligator. It's Leatherhead.
Leatherhead.
Yeah. Leatherhead.
Awesome.
Okay, so we got square is basic attack, X is jump, and
I wonder if I should be using the analog stick or the D-pad.
Triangle is like a roll forward attack. I wonder if that's your special move?
No, because I have the spin attack. I believe.
Like I think arcade game it wasn't those unique ones. It was all the same. It was like a jump hit, I believe. Jump. Did you keep pausing it? Is that what's happening, or is that delay lag?
There's something going on.
Okay. Cool. So, I'm really excited to talk about our greats from 2022, but to start off my list, I got to start off with something that goes back all the way to our youth. Not quite as far back as Ninja Turtles, but goes back all the way to high school. My friend, as 2022 was rolling to a close, just when I thought I could go a couple years without coming down with another case, I got another case of the corns. That's right, my friend. What happens every once in a while? What was a yearly thing, but I went 2 years without it happening. When I get obsessed with the band Korn for a week, and this time it's longer than a week. It's a little late to the game to hit the list, but I feel like it's so impactful this time just because my appreciation for the band has increased. Because in the past, I mostly just considered it kind of like a nostalgia thing that would happen. Like I just have a ton of nostalgia for the first 4 albums, self-titled, Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader, and Issues. Like that is like my era of Korn, and after that, I steadily decline in interest. And in the past, when I would do a listen through, as I got further from those first 4 albums, like it would just like my interest in listening would start dropping, and I think that's why I would come down with a case of the Corns. Fuck you, Rocksteady, Jesus. Like it only lasts like a week because I would listen to the albums I like a few times, and then I would, like I do with all bands that I just kind of get in the mood for, I try to listen to their entire catalog in chronological order. So, like, everything would be going fine after issues, and you hit Untouchables, something like that. It's a really good album,
Oh man.
but like, I just don't love it. And then like from there, it's just like downhill. And so, oh whoa, continue, Cowabunga. I just keep hitting start. I got 65 credits. There we go. There we go. So I'm beating this fucker. So yeah, like, but this time, fuck you, Shredder. You can't take April. But this time, rather than get myself burned out on, like, they have their album that they teamed up with a bunch of electronic and dubstep artists. Path of Totality, I believe it was. It's got one intense banger that they did with Skrillex, Narcissistic Cannibal. Like, I'll defend that. That's a solid song. But like, then after that, they have an album called it's like their third self-titled album called Know Who You Are or something like that. And that album is dog shit. Like, it's just bad.
Like
And
all the corn albums after 2000.
Sure, worse, far worse. And so every time I would get to that album, it would just drain my enthusiasm to the point where I didn't realize I had actually purchased the two albums after that, and I had no recollection of ever hearing those albums. Like the album directly after Korn 3 is called Paradigm Shift, and that's when their guitarist Head, I believe it is, returned. And I apparently bought that album, and it left no impression on me, or I just never listened to it. But then there's an album after that, the Sounds of Serenity or something like that. Like, the Korn fans are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you just like?" It's like SOS basically. And that album fucking rocks, or as the kids said like 3 years ago, it slaps.
It slaps? Really?
Yeah, that was like a phrase like back in, like, you know, not that long ago in the last couple of years. For something that's good, you say that it slaps, like a song. Like, I think that it's out of vogue already. It's been a couple of years, and so, but yeah, well, we're old, so we can say things like that.
Iowa.
Yes, you get really left out of out of things in Iowa, especially if you don't use the internet, like you. So yes, Korn. And then they also released two albums after that, and this last year they released another one as well. Both of those also good. It's like the last four albums that I had no, like, were totally new to me. All four really good. It's like this. Apparently, the Korn have been in like a renaissance for like the last 5 years, and I just totally missed it. So I'm glad to be back into Korn, and now I know that if I'm gonna jam to Korn, I basically listen to their first 5 albums, a couple singles after that, up into the most recent 4, and then those are okay to listen to again. So you like listen to 4, skip 4, listen to 4, something like that. Yeah, so Korn is my number 10 on my list. The band. You know, Jonathan Davis, I got to give him credit. He has an overwhelmingly distinct voice. And
yes.
Like, and he is like he is good at what he does. Like, I might not like always want to hear Korn, but like he does a really good job, and he has like a bit of a range. Like, he has like 5 different singing styles that he does. I think the problem is that he's basically done them ever since the beginning, so it doesn't sound fresh, because that's just how Jonathan Davis sings. He just sounds like a crazy person, so he rotates through so many different voices and singing styles constantly. So, but if anybody else did that, if anybody else had like 5 different vocal styles that they could sing in and did good in all of them, they would be hailed as like a fucking, like a renaissance, like a legend or a renaissance man or something. Like Corey Taylor, I give a ton of credit for, because he basically has like 2 singing voices. He has this super harsh, screamy vocals, and he has this typical singing hard rock. stuff,
Boy,
and like he's really good at those. Yeah, he is kicking our ass. We got it. Good. So yeah, Corn, Jonathan Davis, good shit. Jake, what's your 10? We are now in world third level, I think, in the sewer, and I'm pretty sure we've both lost like the equivalent of like 20 quarters by this point if we were playing in the arcade.
Yeah, pretty much.
Talk about a coin muncher. Jesus Christ.
So 2022 wasn't that great of a year to me, straight up. Okay.
Respect.
So I can't. I'm not going to speak for you necessarily, but it just kind of sucked for me, and I don't really have 10. Okay.
That's fair.
So I do have 9 though, and the first one I'm going to mention is the TV show The House of the Dragon. I thought that was an amazing show.
Oh, good choice, dude. Good one.
I was hooked, and the only reason why it's not really higher on my list is because we're waiting until 2024 before we're going to see another episode of it. So.
Oh fuck, that long, huh?
At least that's what I've heard.
I believe it. They.
Oh. Oops.
You did? No, that's fine. You got the pizza. It's cool. No judgment. Listen, somebody's got to get it. It might as well be you. Whoa, jeez.
Getting pretty brutal here.
It really is. They really just. The sewers are supposed to be our home, but they've like trapped the fuck out of it. There's rockets firing out of the water, foot coming out of everywhere, spikes coming down from the ceiling, mousers. Yeah, mousers coming from fucking everywhere. This must not be our hood of the sewers.
No, apparently not.
Get him. This game came out in like what, 1991, 92, something like that?
I distinctly remember being a lot better at it. That's for damn certain.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And on Nintendo, like you didn't have infinite lives. So I bet they tweaked the difficulty and the number of enemies for Nintendo. Oh fuck you, Baxter.
I thought he was a fly.
He's a scientist and then he gets turned into a fly.
Oh, okay. I thought we were at that point.
Yeah. Interesting fact in the original comics and the modern IDW series, Baxter's black. It was in the cartoon that they turned him into a weird white guy for some reason. Probably they didn't want their only black representation being like a scientist who sucks.
Yeah, they're going for the diversity hire.
Yeah, they did. They did not want to waste. They did not want to waste their diversity hire on something that sucks ass like that.
Boy, we're just swimming in Mausers.
Right?
Hey!
There we go.
Jesus, that took way too long for us.
All right, will do.
But yeah, House of the Dragon, Matt Smith, he is probably he's a really good actor that I've kept an eye on ever since I watched him in The Crown.
Oh, without a doubt. Good guy.
I don't know if you saw The Crown at all, but
I didn't. Heard good things.
Yeah, it was. I felt he played, Prince Philip very, very well as far as a young one, and he definitely has kind of a little bit of a devil may care kind of look to him. I'm not saying it comes out all the time like straight up, but has kind of this weird evil stare a little bit,
Yeah, he does a good job of like throughout most of the series. You never really know if you can trust him.
Yeah, he's a wild.
And I think if you're smart, you probably don't ever actually fully trust him.
Get off the screen, bitch. I'm not messing with you, damn foot soldiers.
Oh, jeez, fuck you.
bitch. Oh, you're gonna get it now. Eric, chew on that. You don't interact with surroundings. You know that?
What?
I said you don't. I've noticed that you don't really pick up on the surroundings that much.
I do sometimes. This one, I have a harder time like seeing good opportunities to use, like kicking the cones or the coin meters and stuff. So yeah, that's a good one, man. That was a good choice for your 10. It did not make my list, but it could have easily done so. It was a really good show. I didn't watch a ton of shows this year, but that one absolutely stood out to me. My number 9 on the list is a bit of a cheat. Like you said, the year, like I'm branching out a little bit in terms of things that I mention, and I do feel a little bit ashamed. I've never mentioned this before on my top 10s, but this year it was really good. So this year I'm mentioning holiday events with my kids, like just broadly speaking, and that's something I think anyone with kids can like experience. So it's not like a single like just me experience, but like there is something about like celebrating a holiday. Oh, they just ran Bebop and Rocksteady just ran into each other. That was pretty sweet. There's the like doing something that you don't do all the time that like blows a kid's mind is fucking awesome. Like yeah, like Christmas has its downsides, especially someone like me who doesn't like Christmas. But like the excitement my kids get, or the kids in general get from it, is kind of awesome. Like they still feel the magic, and that is something to behold. Like it almost, how do I want to put it? Gives you a little bit of that like refresher what it was like to be a kid. You're reminded because they're just so enthusiastic about everything. And I'm just like, I could fucking care less. But they're like, let's sing the Christmas songs. Let's hear carols.
Right.
They want to watch the Christmas version, like episodes and the cartoons that they watch on Disney Plus and stuff. Like they're excited about the tree. They want to put up the lights. They want to drive around and see the lights. Like all this shit that as a jaded adult I just don't care about. But to them, it's the biggest thing in the entire world. And even like Thanksgiving, like getting together and seeing family that you don't see very often. Like I'm just like, ugh, do we have to? I gotta be gone for 2 days to see all these fucking people. Like I don't really care.
Right.
But the kids are just like, this is amazing. I love this. Let's please. Why can't we do this more?
Right.
And like, yeah, like it's just cool. It's cool to have that experience again, even if it's just through the eyes of my kids. So yeah, that's my number 9.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was kind of, when you say something like that, that was kind of back the way it was back when I was growing up.
Yeah.
With my cousins and everything.
Yeah.
I had a boatload of cousins that were pretty close to around my age. So
My kids' cousins are generally older than them, but they still just like that. Their aunt and uncle and their cousins. They just get excited to see. And we go out to my father-in-law's farm. He has a property he grew up on that he still has.
Yep.
So it's just like this thing, Everybody does it. Everyone gets together. Lots of food, pie. Like it's
Yep.
just things going on. It feels special.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it was like. I mean, food was there all the time. There was constant games going on. There was always something to be doing.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, that's my 9.
Okay. So, I don't own it yet, but I'm very anxious to get it. It came out this year, and that is Lego finally, like the modular buildings that I collect. Oh damn. They finally came out with a police station 4th grade.
Oh, sweet.
Like straight up.
Long time coming, right?
Yeah, I mean they've had so many stinking police stations, that were just, they didn't have the backs to them or whatever reason or
Like
whatever.
the city police stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they've got and now they came out with one that.
Oh fuck.
Man, we're gonna get our ass kicked.
I remember when I was a kid, anytime that like these levels where you rode vehicles were like the coolest fucking thing. I was like, yeah, we're riding skateboards. Oh my god, this is so fucking cool. And now I'm like, this is really irritating.
Well, I don't recall them having like 4 of them at a time on the screen. There's only usually 2 maybe.
Well, again, this is the arcade one, so everything's jacked up. Gotta get those quarters.
Yeah, I guess. Jesus.
Fuck you.
Oh shit, man.
So yeah, Lego modular
Police station.
How many stories is it? How much is it?
It's $200 just like any other modular.
I thought some of them reach up to like close like 250, 290-ish. Like, do they never quite get that high?
There was one that came out 4 or 5 years ago, and they were celebrating the anniversary of the 15-year anniversary of the mod. 15 or 10? I think it's 10-year anniversary of the modulars, and that's the one that I most recently.
Yeah.
And that's the assembly square. That was like 4,000 pieces, and it was it was $250 to get.
Okay.
But this one, I mean, it's just a standard modular, nothing. The difference is they finally got a police station because they had a fire brigade.
You have I built it with you once, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowabunga.
Yeah, so that's the reason why it's a 3-story, if I recall correctly, and it's something that I've been kind of looking for. It's like I never understood it. It's like you guys have been, all about the police force and everything. Why aren't you, doing? Why haven't you done a police station yet? You've done them. You got so many with like it's a gimme,
Good point.
Lego police.
Sweet, that's a good one. That would be your 8 because you have 9 instead of 10. So on my 8 would be the anime series Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. I've been a Gundam fan for a while now, and but like I don't think I've ever put the anime on my year-end list. Maybe I have before, but this time, like, there is something. This series is still ongoing, and they actually just did the season 1 finale. Yeah, like this last weekend. And it was one hell of a fucking like cliffhangery finale, like intense, like it's really resonated with the anime community because it for context, this particular anime version of Gundam is it kind of aimed for a little bit more of a mainstream sort of vibe where rather than Gundam traditionally is very much like war and bad shit happening and the government's fucking everybody and there's no good guys, there's just only bad guys and kids being traumatized by war. Like that's generally the vibe. And this one's like the prologue episode like has that shit, and then episode 1 immediately jumps into like 16 years in the future, and the kid from that is like now and like going to like a college-y high school academy thing for mecha piloting, and she has a Gundam, and everyone doesn't like her because she's from fucking Mars, and Mars are apparently weirdos, and
yep, that's right. They're all weird. They're all fucking weird.
And befriends this chick who is she finds out is like the guy who runs the school's like daughter. And some like the first episode ends with her getting pissed off that someone's being mean to her, and she's like, she's basically like supposed to marry this asshole, and she's like, because her dad, it's basically an arranged marriage situation, and she's like, hey, don't be mean to this, like the main girl, Soletta. She's like, don't be mean to this girl. That's fucked up, because she's basically like a fucking bumpkin, country bumpkin equivalent, basically. And she's like, listen, if you can't act like that. That's not nice. And the dude's like, I can do whatever I fucking want. I'm the best dueler in the school. And you know what? If you want to get my fucking face, I challenge you to a duel, nobody. You lose the duel, you get kicked out of school on your first day, bitch. And she's like, well, if I win, you have to be nice to her. And he's like, oh, whatever. And she proceeds to beat the shit out of this dude's ass, like spanks him, like a no contest sort of like ass whooping. And it's then that she learns that the reason why this dude has her friends, this girl's hand in marriage, is because everything in this school is determined by duels, like anything. Like, so there's any disagreement whatsoever. But also, the school's like a principal owner dude's daughter, that's her friend. Her hand in marriage is also determined to be like whoever the number one like Gundam pilot is through duels at the end of the year, she's gonna marry. So by winning that duel, she automatically becomes her like bride. She's like, wait, what the fuck? Okay. And it just kind of like there's just like school shenanigans and some political shit in the background. And then in this last like episode 12, like the war element and the politics really kind of kicks in. So it's like it's kind of eased non-Gundam people in, and now it's swinging like full on with the like horrors of war type shit. And I am loving it. I originally did not know what to think of the Jesus. I am getting my ass stomped by the Technodrome lasers. I didn't know what to think of the mechas, the main Gundam's design. It's called the Aerial Gundam. I thought it looked kind of weird and it wasn't really my vibe, but seeing it in action, and then I built a model kit for its design. Like I have an emotional attachment to this thing now, and I think it's kind of cool as hell. I actually have the model kit for that Gundam right next to my laptop here while we're recording. It's a neat, unique little mecha, so I'm into it. It's got bunny ears, basically. It's got two antennae that stick up like bunny ears, so it's kind of awesome. It's also the first Gundam series to like the main character to be a female, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Like, so it's got a lot of neat, nifty things to it that are just kind of like hitting with me right now. So yeah, that is my number 8, and we are in the Technodrome. We are heading down to face Shredder. Are we gonna face Shredder or Krang when we get down here?
I'm guessing Krang first, but that's just me.
Okay, all right. So yeah, what's your 7, dude?
My 7 is Doctor
Leo, I got your back.
First Madness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. What about that movie really struck you?
As far as like, it was an interesting play because it's Sam Raimi. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Played it up great in that capacity.
Do you have any kind of emotional connection to Raimi films in general?
Not really, but I felt he did this really well considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
So, and that's my kind of spiel on it.
Yeah.
So I the fact that they kind of flipped the script a little bit and made Scarlet Witch kind of a villain in it was one of the reasons why I digged it, and some of the things that they did in it as far as the horror aspect of it and what they did was Strange's story a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Really is what I kind of enjoyed about it. So.
Yeah, I found it. How do I want to put it? It's not my favorite MCU movie, but I came away from it. I enjoyed what I saw. It really turns into a Sam Raimi film, like his like Evil Dead Army of Darkness type shit later in the movie, which I was not expecting. And it was fun to see because I love Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 1 and 2. Like, hell, Evil Dead the remake I fucking love too. So like,
and they even put Bruce Campbell in it. That was cool.
the Beats guy, yeah. I mean, he always puts Bruce Campbell in everything. Even when he was doing Spider-Man, he was squeezing Bruce in every movie. So.
Yeah. Well, my point was it was one thing I didn't like. I know that directors have creator control.
Fuck you, Krang.
But with that, I thought there might be an exception because of the way the MCU handles cameos anyways.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't pick up on it at first. Straight up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't. I just was like, oh, okay, some random dude, and then it didn't click until I saw the after credits scene. I was like, oh, fuck me,
I have I both like and dislike how like the way it incorporated characters from other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like other universe Marvel characters. Like, it was really great seeing Patrick Stewart as Professor X again, and he got to kind of all those characters have a bit of a heroic like stand. But like, it's also for a lot of those guys like a really disappointing way for that to be their first like appearance in the MCU.
Sure.
Like Mr. Fantastic, just getting chumped.
Yeah.
Like in his first appearance in the MCU, that's just like, it almost kind of like takes the legs out underneath any future Fantastic Four thing when we know that's what they're working on. And I'm like, well, like, if you knew you were fucking working on that, why did you make Mr. Fantastic look like a complete chump? Like even if you have a different actor, like his first appearance, you made him kind of cocky and just get stomped. So like, I don't know. It was cool seeing live action Peggy Carter as Captain America, or I guess Captain Britain or whatever she fucking ended up being. But that was cool. I'd like to, because I don't know if you ever watched the What If animated series, but like they cover that in there. Like the first episode is like, what if she got the super soldier serum instead of Steve?
Right.
So like, I'm like, so yeah, I don't know. I was into it. Like it was good. Oh, what the fuck? I got Shredder turned me into a baby turtle.
Yep, that's what he does.
Oh, I knocked off his helmet. Fuck you, Oroku Sake. That's Shredder, right? Shredder is Sake, right? Saki, right? Yeah. Oh, come on. What the fuck? I got turned into a baby again.
Way to get turned into a baby, Rich.
I know.
You're good at that sort of thing.
Oh, just got, we both got baby again. Just imagine you're just dumping quarters into this thing, and all you gotta do is get zapped once by that thing, and there goes 25 cents. Every time we get hit by that, that's 25 cents. Think about that for a minute. How much would that piss you off?
Oh yeah, that would be aggravating.
God, like we've lost like $5 each just in this fight.
It would be closer to 10 between with single-handedly.
Oh yeah, and the whole game at this point, like how much money do you think we spent? Like $30?
I know it's 10, probably closer to 15.
Oh, I feel like you're underestimating how much we've.
Well, I mean,
I hope it I hope it tells us how many quarters we've spent. Oh, you're right. So I started with 5, and then I added 65, and I'm down to 17 now. So.
And that's just trying to prove if it was actually, most of them at our time, it wasn't 25 cents. It was more like 50 cents a shot.
Oh, I think at this time they were still 25.
Were they? Okay. So I would bet that they were 50, but.
All right, we blew up the Technodrome. Oh shit, that was it. I guess now we got to do Turtles in Time.
Yeah. Yes. Turtle power.
Yeah, turtle power, motherfucker. But what about Shredder and Krang? Burned to toast? Vaporized to milkshake? Or escape to Dimension X? Until we know none of us can sleep safely in our beds. Shells. Way to go, Jake.
Way to go, Rach.
Right on. Cowabunga.
You by 3, you asshole.
Well, I just did AAA. I always just do AAA. My number 7 for 2022 is actually is music again. 2022 was a really good year for music, and I listened to a lot of new stuff. How do we get out of this? There's got to be a menu or something.
I think you.
Oh, here we go. So I'm backing out. So we're gonna do Turtles in Time.
You'll have to re-invite me.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Create lobby. So yeah, it was a good year for music. Lots of good stuff. There's always good stuff to listen to, but last year in particular, there was a new Slipknot album which I liked, a new Rammstein, a new Motionless in White, new Stabbing Westward, new Duran Gray. But the band that caught me off guard the most in the last year that I could not get enough of for the first like 6 months of the year. Korn's a recent thing. I came down with the Korns during the Christmas break. But for like the first 6-7 months of the year, I was just absolutely obsessed with Ministry. I have never been like a huge Ministry fan, but like there was just something about it this time that just hit. Why aren't you letting me? Oh, there we go. Now I'm creating the lobby. Like I just, I gotta invite you really quick. There is they have a couple albums, and by they I mean it's another like 9 Inch Nails situation where it's like really one dude is the mastermind of the entire thing, and in this case it's Uncle Al is what everybody calls him, but it's Al Jurgensen is his name. He is a legend in the heavy electronic music scene, the industrial music and industrial metal as we know it wouldn't exist as it does and did in the 90s without his stuff. That's right, Jake. Winners don't use drugs.
Winners
Which
don't
is
use drugs.
really funny that I'm talking about Al Jurgensen and we just saw a fucking don't do drugs thing because that dude was notorious for drugs.
Yeah.
And I got distracted for a second. Sorry.
It happens. I mean, we're still getting a great game.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Turtles in Time. But yeah, Al Jurgensen Ministry, super influential into everything that I like musically, and like I've kind of been this year. I was really hankering for some industrial music, and I was kind of burned out on 9 Inch Nails and a lot of the big guys like Rammstein and stuff, but it kind of like hit me like I had never really given Ministry a proper like time of day. Yeah, kick and shell. I'm building. Yeah, I'm getting 76 credits. Here we go. Now this is going to be more familiar with what you remember from some things. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, I remember we played because the next door neighbor had a SNES, so
yeah.
And I remembered some of the stuff. It just wasn't as clear.
Yeah, I mean it's because this is the arcade one, so it's better quality. The controls a little more snappy, more frames of animation and all that.
I love throwing shit at the screen.
That was great. So yeah, but yeah, my number 7 is going to be Ministry, and I'm going to specifically call out the Psalm 69 album and the albums before that. Fuck, what are the albums before that? Kick the foot's ass while I double check.
Why do I gotta do everything?
Because I need to specifically call out the.
You're getting your ass handed to me, and I got my ass.
I know, but I need to I've listened to this album like 37,000 times this year. You think I would remember it, and I don't. So like, yeah. Psalm 69. The mind is a terrible thing to taste, and let's also throw in. Yeah, we'll also include and things that are absolutely worth listening to. The Land of Rape and Honey.
Now we both got our asses handed to us.
Yeah. Well, we're back. We're ready to kick ass.
Are we now?
Yeah. Oh, I should. Well, that's. Yeah, I threw him at the screen this time. So yeah, Ministry, great band, fucking excellent. If I had to call out any specific songs, I would call out the song Thieves. I would call out the song NWO. Those were like some of my top songs of the year, honestly, on Spotify. And Jesus Built My Hot Rod is a pretty popular one. I'm not as crazy about it, but yeah. So just check out those albums. Have a really good time. The most recent album too, which I totally forgot the name of again, but is also really good. So yeah, that's my number 7.
Nice.
I just suddenly realized that I forgot my medication. So I'm gonna beat up this foot soldier, and then when it tells us to continue moving, oh, it's a boss. All right, we'll beat up Baxter Stockman, who's now a fucking fly. Then I will go get my meds. My phone is like, take your pills. I'm like, shit, you're right. Our phone. I love this like old school style gameplay where like you beat the shit out of a boss and then like you're getting close when they start flashing red.
Yep.
And the more you beat on them, the more they start flashing red to the point that they're just basically pink.
Right.
Like that mechanic is like, it's not something I want to see in a lot of games, but it's just super nostalgic.
It works really well in this game.
Yeah.
Come on, Ralph. Jeez.
I just keep trying to do like a jump kick to a stupid fly face. Yeah, spin kick. Ha. There you go. Suck it, Stockman. Cowabunga.
Cowabunga. I didn't know Leo said that. I thought it was just exclusive to Mike.
They all said it. Okay. Stay right here. I'm going to go get my meds really quick. I don't want you to get jumped by foot soldiers. So I'm just going to bump the mic a whole bunch while I'm running to grab these pills. So you can Vogue or just be entertaining. Talk about your number 6.
My number 6. My number 6 is probably going to... God damn it, Rage. Just lost a life because of you. My number 6 is going to be The Lord of Rings, The Rings of Power. And the reason why it was very slow starting at first, and I wouldn't if I would have went strictly off the first 2 episodes, I'd say no. This is not something for me. But wow, Splinter is losing his shit, and we just lost another life. So
I've returned. So what was it that you were going on about?
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Oh, I've wanted to watch more of that.
Yep. Great shit. But as I was saying, that the first 2 episodes, I probably wouldn't have put it on the list if I'd have rated off of just those episodes alone.
Really? I liked the first episode quite a bit. That's the only episode I've seen.
It gets so much more interesting once you get past episode 6.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And you ranked it higher than the House of Dragons.
Well, the only reason why it got higher than the House of Dragons is because it's gonna probably come back sooner than the House of Dragons is.
Okay. All right.
So.
That's a good one. Good one.
Yep.
I support that.
But yeah, and the reveal at the end of it, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong about that whole like when they're coming back again as far as the next episode is concerned, but
Yeah.
I do know it's going to be sooner than House of Dragons or the House of the Dragon.
So. That was a real. They're both really expensive shows, so I couldn't even hazard a guess.
Right. So, but that's my
good one.
Yeah, it was one that we watched and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I probably will attempt to renew my Prime subscription when
good one.
When the time comes around. I let mine expire because I just wasn't using it enough. And
yeah, not even for like ordering stuff.
Yeah, I just wasn't ordering a whole lot. You know how many orders I had this entire year? 9.
How many? What?
Yeah.
I get orders like from Amazon like weekly. Heck,
Dude.
we get house like toiletries and stuff. Like we have like me and Lauren both have like subscribe and saves where we just get like a bunch of stuff just delivered.
Well, for me, I mean, you guys, live in a big city and all, so I'm like trying to support local vendors, like our local businesses. Since I work for our county.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Necessarily amped about ordering everything through Amazon because I'm trying to keep some of that money within the county itself.
Yeah. I mean, some of those are chains though, so like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't use it.
Okay? Walmart and like even is Hy-Vee's like an Iowa thing. It's not a Denison thing. So.
Yeah. So and I don't really shop a whole lot at Hy-Vee or Walmart for that matter.
Where do you get your groceries?
I can't. I go to Fairway.
Oh, okay.
But I
get
can't.
A pizza, dude. Get over here.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll beat up Metalhead. Oh shit, he's bringing it. Fuck you, Metalhead.
Wow.
Is there anything about the
House of Dragons?
Rings of Power that you want to specifically call out as like a thing that you're just like this really?
It was
gotcha. That's just really put it in another league.
Yes, episode 6.
Just that episode in general. You just did it.
Yeah, there's like I'm not gonna spoil it.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. How many episodes are there in season 1? It's not a super long season, if I remember correctly.
If I remember right, I think it's either. I want to say my first inkling is 12, but I don't think that's right. I think it's like closer to 10.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly. What, dude? Stop jumping around like a fucking.
Right.
Peru.
Doing like a tornado helicopter kick thing.
You're annoying the shit out of me.
He is. He legitimately is. You got him.
So I don't know if you've noticed in the numbers at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
It's lives, and then you have another number. That's how many people you beat.
Oh, so you're just bringing it.
Yeah. And
I beat you in the last one, but you are just stomping me.
You only barely beat me like by 2.
Well, I'm gonna focus more. I'm blaming the cider.
You're blaming the cider.
Yeah.
Now, this level doesn't really have a whole lot to matter. Like, you could like go through it, and I was reading. Oh, maybe that's just the single player version or whatever, or couch co-op. But I was reading in the manuals that this one didn't really matter too much.
My toes. My toes.
Apparently, those like alien things are the pizza monsters.
Yeah, the pizza monsters from the cartoon. Yeah, I think it's interesting how like some of these designs are from the cartoon, like the foot soldiers and a lot of the bosses and stuff. But the metalhead we just fought is based more on the toy metalhead than the cartoon metalhead. My toes.
Too easily amused.
You really are. I apparently haven't had enough alcohol to find laughing about my toes, my toes.
It's not so much the saying, it's just the animation.
The holding his toes and hopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we owe Lauren a special debt of gratitude tonight for the kids got to go to doctors tomorrow, and she is like prepping the notes for the kids to go to the doctor while we're doing this instead of doing something she would much rather be doing, which is probably sleep.
Damn, these pizza monsters are really annoying now.
They really are. My number 6 for 2022 is the Marvel's Midnight Suns video game, which I spoke about it kind of at length in the last episode we released, so I'm not going to go about it too much right now. Just it's just a really good strategy game. Like, it's just a good like turn-based character strategy game, and it features characters that I already love a whole bunch. So I'm loving it. It's good. Whoa, we're getting thrown into time.
Oh shit.
BC 25 gajillion in the past. What why are foot soldiers back here for us already?
Well, I mean, he
or in general.
That time thing, so.
So yeah, I won't go about it again. Like I said, I'm not going to go about it ad nauseum, but it's good. It continues to be good. I highly recommend it for anyone who's into turn-based strategy games. Ignore the card system like up front until you're in it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Wolverine is good.
Do you get tired of me throwing shit at the screen?
Never.
That was one of the. I thought that was one of the cool aspects of this game.
Did you figure out how to?
I haven't figured out the combination. I randomly do it.
Okay. I love it when you grab them and just whip them back and forth. I kind of like how in the new one, Shredder's Revenge, you can control like how you do that. Like, you can just throw them at the screen. There's like a way to just do it, which is pretty great.
All right.
Let's kick shell.
My toes.
Boom, boom. Trying to think if there's anything else interesting of note to bring out about Midnight Suns. Not really. Like, I've said pretty much everything that needed to be said last episode. So play it. It's fucking good. It better sell a ton. A lot of fans of that game are concerned it's not selling a bunch because it's already it's after a month it went on sale, which isn't concerning to me because that's just all games do that now. But I hope it is selling okay. Like I hope it makes its money back and justifies them doing another one. Like because I want more. I hope the DLC does good because Venom and Deadpool are DLC characters that are coming out here soon. So that'll keep me playing. So yeah, that's my 6.
Okay. Oh, let's see for a second.
We're gonna face a dinosaur. Oh, it's not a dinosaur. It's a Mudman.
Hey, for Mudman.
I don't know.
I'm gonna save your ass some more.
Always. Man, I just had a shower. Boy, I don't recognize this mud monster. I wonder if it's original for the game or if it's from some episode that I just don't remember.
There I went. Oh, what the hell? I mean, this guy and his combo breakers are really pissing me off.
There we go. Like pin him between us, and then he can. Come on, come back out here. Come back out here, dude. Ready? There we go. Fuck yeah, you're stuck between us, dude. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, you bitch.
Did you ever play the X-Men game like this?
No.
It's awesome.
I mean, the closest thing.
This was like a formula that Konami was doing. There was a Simpsons one.
Okay.
Let's kick Shell Jake. There we go. Good old exploding Muckmen.
Yeah. But no, I never played that. The only, like, the Marvel ones that I've played are the ones that kind of, like, mimic Ultimate Alliance. So
Oh, yeah.
the only other one that's different from that would have been Wolverine's Revenge.
Right on. So what is your number 5?
Number 5, Top Gun Maverick. That was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you ever see it?
I didn't. No. I did.
That good.
Like, there's a part of me that just doesn't care, but like I really liked the original Top Gun when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it's worth going, hitting it up when it hits streaming.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. It's even, I mean, you're not, like, even as the Jesus man,
Yeah, they really.
the even on its own, like, merits, without, like, thinking about the one before it, I mean, it's a good show. Okay. It is better.
So you actually have experience in the Air Force. Is there anything in those movies that, like, you actually being in the Air Force now you see and you're like, that's ridiculous?
Well,
I know they focus more on the pilots, I guess. So, or are they Navy pilots?
Yeah, it holds. I mean, it's, you got to be fair. Okay, there's a lot of things that they can't really show in those films. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I mean, they do it. They try to do the best they can with it, and there was some, like, maneuvers and shit that, that it's like wow, So, but it was a good show, and it was pretty faithful to what the intent was. So
Sweet.
I'm not gonna berate it in that capacity.
Has Tom Cruise started looking old yet?
You could see like crow's feet and just a few more wrinkles, you know. But I wouldn't say like it's like clearly there,
Yeah.
like how Al Pacino faced.
Okay. He must have the best plastic surgeons in Hollywood on
Maybe
speed dial. Like that dude must. I'm sure there's a genetic element too, but like.
right. So I'm trying to remember these guys' names. I think if I remember right. I thought one of
Oh,
them
this is Toka and Razor from
was
Turtles 2. Yeah. The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the final boss of this one is Super Shredder.
Yeah. I do remember.
Yeah.
But I do remember there was like one level in particular where you have to throw shit at the screen.
Oh yeah. Oh right, because like Shredder's like shooting at you with a gun or something.
Right.
Right, like a cannon, and like the screen is his point of view with like a targeting reticule.
Because we had to divvy that up because I couldn't figure out like the method or the buttons to push between me and so the neighbor would take on Shredder and I would take on all the guys that were in the background so he didn't get hit.
Oh, sorry, no.
Come on.
That's right, turn into a little baby wolf. No. No, he's a baby turtle, a little snapping turtle. That's right. Flop around on your back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're going into the Old West on a train.
Wounded Knee. I don't know why I remember that, but they're kind of annoying.
A foot soldier riding up to the train on a horse is. I don't know why that's so amusing to me.
Ooh, it got hit with a steel beam, right?
Oof.
Kind of dig the shoulder block too a little bit.
Yeah, I like the charging shoulder block. That's a cool move. Every once in a while, I do like this slide kick thing, like taking them out at the ankles. That's pretty sweet. The music for this level is pretty solid. I'm getting down to it. Have you talked about what your 5 is yet?
My 5? I thought we talked about Maverick.
Oh, that was Maverick. You're right. Okay. My number 5, as always, it gets on the list somewhere, but the toys have to get on the list somewhere. And this year, Marvel Legends hit 6. I did not buy a whole lot this year, but I did get a Daredevil on a new updated pinless body that is really good. That came in a multi-pack with Elektra. A Venom with wings that was in a 2-pack with Null. That was just like a really good. It's possibly the best Venom they've ever done, and it's basically a glorified repaint of the movie Venom body, but with like comic Venom's like spider on him and like new heads, and then like these wing attachments from the King in Black storyline.
Okay.
That capped off like my favorite Venom run of all time. And then they also did a figure of the MCU, the Disney Plus Moon Knight.
Okay.
That's also really good. So like a good year for Marvel Legends, as it always is, but those 3 figures in particular were awesome, and was really happy to see. I mean, like,
Right.
I think it's a weird year for like toys and collectibles. I'm finding in general, like I think online communities in particular, because that's where you're going to find your enthusiasts. There's a weird sense of like there's always complainers, right, in any sort of thing, but hobby. But like this year, I feel like the amount of complaining I see online of everything is truly astounding me, and I'm just wondering if it's like I don't even know. I think more just like people are feeling money is tight, and so like if they don't see that something like they're the bang for their buck, people are getting more frustrated, and like there's a certain amount of realistic expectation you should have over like a $20 action figure. But like I do think that people are just feeling the pinch this year for a variety of reasons in terms of like, if I spend $20 on this thing, it better feel like I'm spending that, and just for whatever reason, a lot of people aren't seeing it, and like from what I'm seeing other people getting, like I can definitely see that sometimes too. Like there's definitely a lot of lines where I'm definitely happy that I wasn't like collecting anymore, or figures that I was happy that I had to pass on, that I was glad that I ultimately didn't get, because like there are certain ones where it's just like, why are you missing paint or accessories that don't make any sense. They just revealed a X-Men wave today, Build-A-Figure, and it might be like I'll probably pass on it unless I see it on sale like late next year, just because like it's a character called Chode. Or Chode. It's a big lizard man, and he's got like very little paint apps on him, and he's like a reuse of a body from a different character, like the Hulk villain Abomination, basically. But that means that he's like got the wrong numbers of fingers and toes. And this character, Chahod, has like scales all over his body, they're drawn in like lines that go across his body, kind of like Colossus's, like the pattern of his metal bands. This dude has like scale bands like that, but this body doesn't. The body that's used for this figure doesn't have that, so it looks like him because of the head and it's colored green, but otherwise it's like I see why you would make this choice from a manufacturing perspective. Like I've been in those situations at a job where you got to make tough calls and something's got to sacrifice. But it is like, okay, like if this was on my radar as something I wanted or planned to spend money on, I'd probably be pretty pissed. As is, it's something that I'm like, well, I probably wasn't going to get that anyway. But but still, like I see the people who are really pissed off about that, and I'm like, I get it. Like I get it. I'm just kind of happy that they've largely hit all the X-Men that I want. So I'm just like, I could take it easy. So yeah, Marvel Legends. That's specifically the Daredevil, the Venom from the King in Black 2-pack, and the MCU Moon Knight. Screw you, Krang. I am truly astounded how much you were just like kicking more butt than me this round, this game. Just nearly 100 more KOs than me. You're on fire. Have you drank anything?
Yeah, I'm drinking cider just like you are.
Okay.
I'm not like pounding it, but
Okay.
you're an asshole.
Trying to come up with an excuse. I got nothing.
Boy, this guy's really my nerves.
Oof. He's blanking. Come on, Krang, you're going down.
Stop hitting me.
You know, as doofy as Krang looks in that robot body, like the big, weird, poofy limbs and the bald head and those weird glasses, I kind of love it. I mean, it's so stupid. It's that kind of like, if you changed it too much, I'd hate it. I don't want Ninja Turtle bad guys to look cool except for Shredder. And Slash, I guess. Slash is okay. But like Krang should look stupid.
Which one's Slash?
Slash is the Ninja Turtle, the evil Ninja Turtle who wears a black headband. He usually has like a blue or turquoise skin.
Okay. The name sounded familiar, but I couldn't picture him.
Yeah.
Nice throw.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a cool super move.
That's pretty sweet. That was a pizza power up.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it didn't actually happen, but the second ago it looked like I headbutted a dude, and that was pretty sweet. Very Raphael thing to do. Maybe a little too Raph. Have you watched the movies in a while?
Like the originals, like back in the 90s?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Like
I haven't. I
my,
kind of have a hankering to do so.
what's that?
Kind of have a hankering to do so now.
Part of me does too. When I first got them, I just never did it. You know.
I watched some I think I watched like maybe 10 years ago. Like I think I made Lauren watch them early on in our dating, which is like a
Right.
probably should have been a sign right there that maybe not the best husband material, but no regrets. I haven't watched them in a while, but I definitely kind of have an urge to do so again. Like that first one in particular, I just remember being so good, and every time I've gone back and watched it, like it lives up to that.
Oh yeah.
Too cool. Get out of that freeze beam hall. Oh, giant.
Screen's flashing a little bit, or fading in and out.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think that's like the space station is bleaking on. Yeah, I think because we are assaulting it. It's a 2-turtle assault team. Can you imagine having 4 people, just like 4 turtles, just kicking butt? Yeah.
I wonder if the game actually anticipates that a little bit.
There is a open lobby that you can do on Shredder's Revenge. The first night I got it, I did play that first level with 3 other people, and that was a chaos, like kind of awesome time. Like maybe when we go back and finally play that, which we're not going to make it to tonight, but like whenever we get back to that, we should totally play it that way. Just have randos show up and fill out the party for us to just have, full squad. Oh, I jump kicked right into a laser. Do you have any memories of the original Ninja Turtles cartoon that really stand out to you?
No, not really, except for Michelangelo saying Cowabunga all the time.
In the very first episode, there's a scene where I think April goes into a pizza shop, and it's like the guy at the counter is like, Ninja Pizza, home of the nice slice, and then he stabs a knife into the table. I just remember that. And yeah, that just really sticks with me. And you know what I think? I don't even know if that's actually in the cartoon, but it's in the Archie comics adaptation. And I had that comic and an audio tape narrating it that I think took clips from the cartoon. That when I was little, I listened to that tape and read through the comic all the time.
Damn it.
Oh, hey, Shredder's on the screen in the background.
Yeah.
He looks mad.
Bubble.
Did you know anybody who had the Technodrome when you were a kid?
No. Wait. I think I knew one kid that did. I think. I'm not certain.
I did not.
There was one kid I remember specific. I just don't remember.
Come on, dude. That's Krang in this little spaceship, right? That's gotta be. Or a Krang. Did you ever say you're number 4?
Not yet.
Okay.
So my number 4 shouldn't really count. The only reason I put it on the list was because it was turnover between the years, and I didn't see it until like.
It's our list. We can do whatever the heck we want.
We can do whatever we want, huh?
I put corn on the list, and my the corn thing was like the end of the year into 2023 for me. So.
Right. So this one was Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, hey. That's a good one.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
The final shell shock. Oh, shit. Shredder's got a laser sword.
Got a lightsaber. Watch out, dude. I recall Shredder being taller than us. Oh shit! What the fuck? Don't get hit by those those things that he shoots.
Yeah, apparently that would be a bad idea.
I don't think that's half fair. I don't have a block move.
Well, yeah, but he's Shredder, so.
So he's a bitch. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. You can't block against both of us forever. There you go. He's starting to blink. So yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home. That was a good movie.
Good movie with everything that was going on with it. Especially some of the little cameos that were in it. I enjoyed.
Yeah, that was a really cool. Again, I just like that kid as Spider-Man.
Well, okay, so I still hate Spider-Man. Okay, I just thought that one was a good story. Okay.
I always forget that you dislike Spider-Man for some reason.
Yeah,
Weirdo.
I think of him as he's got his head up too much up his own ass.
Oh yeah, well that makes you and him quite alike.
Really? Nice. That's a little brother statement.
Well, when he's right, he's right.
I'm gonna put you away, Shredder.
Oh, I just got shanked. Well, there he goes. Fall.
See?
We got him. Cowabunga.
Take any of his shit. They're putting the Statue of Liberty back, thank goodness. I thought there was a scene. I thought there was we had to throw the screen, damn things at the screen.
Yeah, so did I. I thought that was maybe that's only in the Super Nintendo one.
Maybe.
Yeah. Huh.
Kind of disappointing.
A little bit.
Oh wait, so we're back at the beginning again.
Yeah, I think we can quit it out and just kind of wrap up the episode then. Unless, do you want to try one of the other ones while we're shooting the shit, kind of wrapping up our countdowns?
I don't mind.
You know what? All right, here we go. Let's try.
Oh, there is Turtles in Time in line. That's Turtles 4.
Yeah, that's the Super Nintendo one.
Yep. Or the heist, I guess.
Hyperstone Heist.
Yep.
Let's check out Hyperstone Heist a little bit while we're wrapping this up.
Okay. 3 left.
What was that? Yeah. My number 4 is Andor, the Star Wars Disney Plus series. It was just really good, really fun. It was a different take on Star Wars that we hadn't seen before, and I thought that was really exciting to see. I don't want everything to be that intense or dark or, I guess, humorless. It was not a funny show, but for what it was a cool experience.
I wonder if I want to mix this up a little bit. Wait a minute, hold up.
Uh-oh. Just skip right past that. Oh, so you get to select.
Yeah, I just want to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. So Genesis. So it's very similar to Turtles in Time. So 3, Jake.
3. 3 would be. I'm gonna go with the Nano Gauntlet from Lego. They came out with that summer.
How big is it?
It's the same size as the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay.
Okay.
It just looks it's just nano red instead of gold.
Yeah.
So.
Where do you have those? Like, do you have them like on a? Because I could see those like being on like two like little cabinets or speakers like flanking your TV. You could just have those sitting on them. Like, where did you end up? Where do you end up putting them?
They're just on my DVD cases for right now.
Okay.
So that's easy.
That's a cool kit. That's a cool one.
Yep.
Is that the biggest kit you bought this year?
I think it's the only one I bought this year, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Get that pizza, Don.
What's that?
That pizza.
What do I have to get?
Because your health is lower. Just thinking about it. You are kicking way more ass. Well, now only a little bit more ass. It's that long, but it's the longer weapons, man. They give you an advantage. That's the thing with Raph. He has the shortest reach.
Is that what you're gonna cost it to?
Yes, that is absolutely what I'm gonna use as my. Or you're just being smarter with hitting the fire hydrants like you just did.
Taking roundings.
Exactly. My number 3 is Elden Ring. That game, like other things, I have spoken ad nauseum on the show about already. It takes the whole like Souls formula, tweaks it a little bit, and makes it quite possibly the best version of that style of game I've ever played. It does open world in a exciting way to me, where I know some people are like, "Oh, it's just an empty world," and I'm like, "Well, not really. There's tons of stuff hidden everywhere and little things to find if you just look." Like, I like how undirected it is. It's very like it drops you in the world, and it's like, all right, here's where you eventually need to go to, but you're not strong enough to get there, so go do something else until you're strong enough. And then there's just tons of shit, and it's just explore, find things, stumble across new characters, use FAQs to figure out how to continue the subquests, because it's hard to figure out on your own. But that's part of the charm to me. Like, it's always about community in those games, so it just does it well. Like, I don't know, I love it. It's good. It's got a cool story. Not even story, it's lore. I mean, there is a story, and that story's cool too. But like, it's more. Those Souls games are more about lore, where you pick up items and there's little bits of like history of the world and the items and characters on the items. So like, as you get more stuff, you read just little bits and pieces more of the history of the world, and like this like jigsaw puzzle sort of way. So yeah, that is my. Also, it's the game I played the most this year. I got it in like February of last year, and I played it for like the first 7 months of the year, like just almost like a couple times a week.
Damn.
Like, it was my highest play count of the year. I think my end of my clock when I beat that game, it was like nearly 170 hours. That's absurd. Yeah, it's absurd. But I played it a ton, and some of that time was just another reason why it's high on the list. Sometimes I play games in the morning to just to play and do stuff, and like my kids are old enough that it's hard to like just play things on the TV and them go like do something else. Like, now they want to see what I'm doing. So that was a game where I could just run around and pick stuff up and like run away from combat and explore and find stuff and just like see cool stuff in the world. And they like, as long as I was avoiding combat, wasn't mostly like okay, child safe. Again, as long as I was avoiding combat and not talking to new characters, because half of those characters would say something overly dark that would go over the kids' heads, but would still be inappropriate. So yeah, the Elden Ring, just a lot of good memories, a lot of time spent. It is referred to in this house as the horsey game, because my son was obsessed with it and he would demand that I play the horsey game. So yeah, that is my number 3.
Yay for number 3.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Leatherhead.
again.
You are too immature to hang with me. You sure about that, Leatherhead?
Well, he's throwing shit at it.
I don't recall him doing that before.
Well, I never played it before, so.
Well, no, I meant in the arcade one that we played earlier in Turtles in Time. Was he doing that in Turtles in Time?
I don't recall. I don't think so. Hey, we got a health gauge for him.
Right? I saw that. I thought that was cool. Smart addition, if you ask me. Shell shocked. I like the box art for this game.
Yep.
Like I see it on like kind of surrounding the screen. Or framing the play window.
Kicking his ass if he didn't have that one move.
Yeah.
I've been beaten by a bunch of teenage turtles.
And then you explode.
So I guess my last one is one that occurred at the very end of this year. And that is and it's my final one that I have on the list, and that's 1923. Absolutely fucking amazing show.
Yeah?
Oh, Helen
Tell me
Mirren.
more.
It's so 1923 is based off the Yellowstone kind of universe, for lack of a better term. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford play the main characters in it. Okay.
Oh yes, that I've seen Harrison Ford.
And
That's quite that's some high profile like people.
Yeah, and Helen Mirren steals the show. I mean, she outshines Harrison Ford.
Oh, Harrison Ford's not like someone I consider a great actor, so that shouldn't be too surprising. He's cool. He's got a good vibe. He's got a good look.
I kind of hold him in high regard as far as a decent actor.
Okay.
But yeah, she is. I think it's one of her best roles because I mean, she like the opening scene to that thing is just awesome. So she's holding a shotgun in that, and
yeah,
guy dead to rights. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "This is the Yellowstone. You have no rights here." Okay. And then she pulls the trigger, and it clicks. She doesn't have ammunition in the gun. She has to pull out 2 more shells. Meanwhile, the other guy realizes this and quickly tries to fill his revolver in the process. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. She gets the shotgun. She shoots him. Okay.
Yeah.
She beats the punch, but the scene is just really cool. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
But yeah, it's a good show. I really enjoy it. The only thing that's really disappointing about it is there. So we've seen 4 episodes thus far, and there's 8 total. And they went on a break, like a mid-season break, and we won't see it for another month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was really. That's the only thing that really kind of is negative to me in it. Is I just wish they would do like they did, straight up, just have all the episodes going, kind of like House of Dragon or some of the.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
So, but other than that, I don't want to miss an episode, and I want to find out more about it. And the guy that plays Bronn from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
He plays the villain.
Oh sweet. Note to self: watch this show because he's cool.
So, very interesting, very good, very like that. It's a great show to watch. So
I can't argue with that. Oof.
I remember that a little. Well, I remember that in a different game where you got flattened.
Yeah.
Shit. Both went down.
My number 2 is actually Are you ready for me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. But you the game and you quit the game.
Oh no. Get in.
You said game over.
Let me back in. It won't let me get back in. Maybe it will at the next level or something. I don't know. I don't know why it won't let me in. I got 44 lives.
Oh.
I don't know. I must not have selected fast enough, and so it's like, all right, you're done. So fair enough. My number 2 is a combination of getting a new job and full-time working remotely. That is a life-changing and improving thing for me. Like that is like almost number 1. Like quite frankly, in many ways could be number 1 for my like things of the year. Truly huge for me. Like just the amount of time I don't spend sitting in a car, massive improvement. The time spending in my own home, wonderful. I it's like I see my kids more because I'm not on the road all the time. Like coming home and then it's like bedtime for them. Like it's just a huge life improvement. Like my mood, my attitude, the job is almost relaxing sometimes. Just because the demands are less than some stuff I've dealt with in the past. Like I don't know if that's like something I want to deal with forever, but for now it was the right call. So yeah, my number 2 is the starting a new job and it being remote work.
Nice. Yeah.
So, and you don't have another one, do you?
Nope. I'm it. That's it. That's all I got.
Oh, okay. Well, my number 1 is kind of in a similar vein, and that is the whole like 2022 was like at the beginning of the year I made a conscious effort to is like a self-improvement thing. I had a lot of things about myself that I wanted to address and improve on, and I did. And while like not ever and in a general sense, I think that can apply to anybody. So like, not everybody would go through the exact same things I did. You know, not everybody needs shoulder surgery. Uh, Not everybody needs to see a therapist over the stuff that I was seeing a therapist over. But like,
Sure.
if you have some nagging thing that you want to improve, like I think that's something that like anyone can relate to and anyone should do. Like I think having like a real like serious commitment to addressing that stuff, it can be life changing. So, and it certainly has been for me. So I don't need to go into details on that because we've already done it a bunch and have other episodes. But like, yeah, life changing. And even like even on my shoulder, like this nagging shoulder injury that's been bothering me for years. It is finally at the stage of rehabilitation now after getting surgery in October, where I can, if I properly stretch and warm up, I can almost lift my hand over my shoulder. Like if I just stick my hands straight out, like don't bend my elbows, like it's been the rehab is taking forever, but I feel like there are times that I forget that I have limited range of motion in my shoulder, like right now, from because I'm still recovering. And so like I'm cresting over the hill. I can see the hill, the top of the hill now in my shoulder recovery, and that thing is God. I think that was like the first thing I even started doing last year. Like I went to I think I went to a chiropractor first to see if they could do something about the shoulder, and then I went to a joint specialist, and then I started doing physical therapy to see if that would fix it before surgery, and then I ended up getting surgery in October because the therapy itself wasn't enough. So, and then physical therapy recovery from that. So it's just been a heck of a year. Game over, dude.
Game
So,
over.
I know that was a good time for me to kind of hit, the end of my top 10. So good top 10s, Jake.
Yeah.
Was there any cool things that like just did not hit your top 10s that you want to give a quick shout out to?
No, not really.
Okay. I know.
This was, like I said before, this was kind of a depressing year for me. So.
Yeah, and that's sad. Like that's rough. So hopefully 2023 treats you better. I know. There's definitely other cool things that happened this year. I liked Cyberpunk a lot. Like I haven't finished it yet, but like Cyber 2077, I think is what it is. Good game. I haven't finished it yet, but like that just kind of barely narrowly missed my list. Moon Knight, the Marvel Plus show, that narrowly missed. Was there any movies I saw that would have made it? Maybe Spider-Man. Like, yeah. There's a lot of like I didn't really mention any comics because I mentioned like them kind of every year, and while the X-Men stuff isn't as good as it has been in these last couple years, like the current era, the Krakoa era as it's called in the comics, the X-Men fandom is still going strong. It's just not as like new and fresh as it was when it started like 3 years ago, but there's still a lot of good stuff that's happening in it. So no regrets there. And there's the Batman started a new run like a couple months ago with a new writer who I'm a big fan of, Chip Zdarsky, and that's doing really good, but it's too early to say if that's like top, material. I haven't read nearly as much as I've wanted to this year, so that is unfortunate. But, it is what it is. So lots of little things just kind of narrowly missed the list.
Yeah, I get you there.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So Jake.
Yes.
We finished more turtles than originally expected, honestly.
Yeah, we went through the whole fucking game so quickly. I expect that.
Yeah. We did the original Turtles, the arcade game, and then we did Turtles in Time. Thoughts, my man?
I thought they were fun and they aged well. I'm surprised that they were as short as they were, but then again, we with all those continues and everything that we had going for us.
Exactly.
Lives. I mean, because I remember there'd be times when we would spend an entire afternoon, like in Turtles 2, the arcade game, we would spend an entire afternoon playing that, or even in Turtles in Time.
Exactly, because you didn't have unlimited continues.
Right.
Then, so you would die, and you'd have to get good to make it.
You didn't have to be good this time, I guess.
I have experience with all of these games, but I have experience with them in their home versions, like you did. To me, the arcade game is Turtles 2, the arcade game on Nintendo.
Yep.
Turtles in Time is Turtles 4, Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo. And Hyperstone Heist, like we did a little bit of here at the end, which is clearly just like a recut version of Turtles in Time.
Yep.
Just removing the time travel aspect of it for some reason. I don't even know why they did that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it matters. So seeing the full arcade ones, it was surprising to me. One, they looked really good. Like it like you said, it aged well. They were very pretty for, I don't know what, 1991, 92, early 90s. So really pretty. And the animation was smooth, like for the fighting and everything.
Right.
Especially the Turtles in Time arcade. It was just really, I had zero. I had at least seen OG arcade like sitting, like the cabinet sitting in like a pizza place here and there, but like Turtles in Time, never seen an arcade machine for that. And legitimately looked awesome. Like just the animation was smooth, the art looked good. Just it was almost too smooth in terms of like when we jumped into Hyperstone Heist. Um, and that's again to remind people that Sega Genesis interpretation of Turtles in Time, because it's not as there's not as much animation and not as much like I don't I don't know how to put it, but like it almost feels more digital in the control, like less range of I don't know. It made it easier. Like I knew what I was doing at all times. Like I could time my like jump kicks better. Like because if you time your attack button in a jump at a specific time, you'll do different jump kicks. So there's like a downward angled kick. There's like a horizontal kick. There's like a swinging your weapon between your legs. And those all happen in a jump, depending on how high the jump is, whether you attack during the upward movement or the downward movement, or I think even in the when you're cresting at the top of the kick. And I could never really just figure out the timing in the
Well,
arcade. But when we went to the home version, I was like, this is like, I don't know if it's just like muscle memory from years of playing that all the time when I was a kid kicking in, or it just was easier to anticipate or read.
yeah, yeah. For me, I think a lot of this was like I felt the muscle memory kicking in. Like I
Oh
remember
yeah.
certain shit and you know when to do a certain. The only thing was like I remember there was a lot more button combinations, and in here we didn't really need them too much as much, or we weren't
Yeah.
leveraging them.
I mean, I know Shredder's Revenge, the modern one has button combos and stuff like that, but I don't.
These used
Does
to
the
have like
does the old one?
yes, like for instance, to if I recall correctly, I think you had to hit both A and B to get the super their super move as far as turtles were concerned. Um, Whereas here they just use triangle. So
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
um, and like I found the not the D-pad but the analog stick was actually a little bit more fluent and in the button mashing that I was doing to start throwing foot soldiers towards the screen. It was easier to do it that way than it was to use the D-pad. So
So apparently now I'm looking at the built-in guide
mhm,
for Turtles in Time.
mhm.
Um, the SNES version has new levels and bosses
Oh,
that weren't present in the arcade.
oh yeah, like the
Yeah.
like um
Yeah.
um oh, see, I'm looking for it.
Because that's the one where you have to throw them at the Shredder's tank.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that when I was like, where the hell is that? Because I remember that I was really dreading that because it was going to be
Yeah.
kind of a pain to do, and we never encountered it. So I was like, oh, okay, because we don't have to do that one. So
Yeah. Oh, here, there's information here on these games. So OG Turtles arcade game came out in 1990 in Japan and 1989 in the United States. So that's cool. Turtles in Time came out in 1991 in the arcades and in 1992 on Super Nintendo.
okay,
Yeah.
move towards it.
And then Hyperstone Heist came out later in 1992 for Genesis.
Okay, yeah, because I virtually never. The only thing I've ever touched the Sega Genesis for was Sonic, and that was
Yeah.
only like in a handful of situations. So I never played Sega.
Apparently, you shouldn't mash the button when you're slamming foot soldiers in the ground, because if you time it with the hits, you'll do more.
Yeah, I knew that too.
Yeah.
There was moments where I was like, oh, I don't want to do like I don't want to keep going like four. There was like three I think you could do as a maximum, and there'd be moments when we would be getting more and more and more, and I don't want to be tied up in that move to get to start beating on others. So. Oh shoot.
Yeah. So I wish I had more thoughts about those original games themselves, but I don't. They're very simple. It's just like arcade, side scrolling, smashy smash.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
like
I still think they're a lot of fun. So they're a great way to just burn some time if you want to, beat the shit out of some foot soldiers. So.
I do think that like Shredder's Revenge obviously builds on this formula and makes it like more modern.
Right.
So I'm glad of that, and that it just shows that there's a way to take this style of game and make it work in a modern context. So that's cool. But it is cool going back to these and feeling like that whole vibe.
Hmm. Hmm.
Apparently, there's a rewind feature,
Oh,
and like at least in some of these.
interesting. Kind of like what they did with the
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My wife is just messaging me saying goodnight, so I'm just responding real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, so yeah, good game. Speaking in a broader sense about the Cowabunga Collection, this thing is loaded with like cool stuff. Like it's got all of these games. It really covers everything. Like I never expected them to do this, like something to this level. It's
Right.
crazy. Like I wish there was more online options for some of these games, like playing more of them online. But the fact that it's literally just like everything, including the handheld ones, is nuts to me.
Uh,
Like the old like Game Boy,
yeah. There's some of these
like
I've never like. What? Where the hell did that come from, or what? I don't recall that ever.
animated shows. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, for a second I was like, you're not actually putting in.
No, they were just kind of making.
I thought that like they're not actually putting in episodes of this in this thing, are they? And like, no, they just got some screen grabs from
Oh,
like some
really?
episodes. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
some of the animated shows.
Yeah. So it's a cool library of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm into it.
oh, they did eight.
Behind the scenes,
Yeah,
music, comic
10 seasons of
books.
that shit. Wow. I didn't know that. There's 10 seasons of the animated show from the original, like 1987.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
that. I knew first season was smaller.
but I'm just surprised to see
Yeah.
they put 10 episodes up or 10 seasons of it.
Yeah, I knew there was quite a bit.
Wow.
Oh, so much stuff. And
Yeah.
there's like images of like the boxes and manuals, ads and catalogs, comic covers, screen grabs from the animated show, behind the scenes.
The,
Uh,
the newer shows just don't compare. I mean, I like the animation of the original. Look like they actually put a lot of effort into it. Um, I don't want to say like,
design. They got the design document. What? That's crazy. This is insane. They have like the original like design doc stuff from like Konami scanned in, like handwritten like documents from the like 80s.
that's crazy.
Crazy.
Cinematics. Holy crap! They've got the I can't remember what the hell they call them. Like whiteboard. You know how they have like of a show or whatever. They just have certain scenes or the
Yeah.
like, acts or whatever. Like they even have some of those in here.
It's crazy. Let's run through the games real quick. I feel like calling those out. Arcade Ninja Turtles. Turtles in Time Arcade. Ninja Turtles 4. Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo. Tournament Fighters for Super Nintendo. Hyperstone Heist for Genesis. Tournament Fighters for Genesis. Ninja Turtles 1 for Nintendo. Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for Nintendo. Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project for Nintendo. Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters for Nintendo. And that was the only Tournament Fighters I had ever played, actually, when I was a kid. And it was one of the first fighting games I ever played on Nintendo. That was super weird. Because there weren't very many like straight up like fighting games on OG Nintendo. That started on like Super Nintendo and stuff. And this was like right at the end of like the Nintendo's lifespan. So that's cool that that's there. Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan for Game Boy. Ninja Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers for Game Boy. And Ninja Turtles 3 Radical Rescue for Game Boy. I hear Radical Rescue is really good.
Huh. No, the first fighting game I played had to have been either the, the second Mortal Kombat for SNES. I'm guessing it's probably that one. Killer Instinct. I'm thinking Mortal Kombat though. No, it wasn't Killer Instinct. It would have been Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. It would have been the second Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter 2. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of shit in this.
Yeah. There is a the pixel remasters of the Final Fantasy games are finally coming out later this year on console, and they're doing a disc version in limited amounts for that have all 6 games. And like,
Yeah,
I wish that Square Enix would put this much like care in like archiving all those materials and putting it in like one like game, like just to really celebrate the whole history
sure.
of that franchise. But like, there's no way it's gonna be approach this anywhere near. Like, I've never, like, as far as game collections, I've never like looked at one that has like such a wide
Well,
swath of like shit that's shoved in it. Plus, just like these are good not reinterpretations, but good brought over versions of those games. They all played good. The fact that they added in like online multiplayer and stuff, like, it's just a lot of care clearly went into the Cowabunga collection. So I have no regrets about actually getting a physical copy of this, and I don't really get physical copies anymore. So
yeah, even if they decide Square Enix decided to do something of this scale, it wouldn't be the cost would be astronomical. It'd be like $200-300 versus what the $50-60 that we might have paid for this.
yeah, yeah. Oh, they did. They kind of did. There was like a deluxe version of the disc or the physical releases
Uh-huh.
that they were doing for the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, and it
Right.
was including like a vinyl and shit like that, and they were like several $100s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
the
like some pins and shit. But even then, like the physical thing probably isn't gonna have this much like stuff in the game itself. Like, it isn't gonna have like digital like game guides and shit for all
yep.
the games. Like,
Well, and then like the disappointing factor is that one, those hard copies, they're only doing hard copies, not doing a digital collection, from what I understand, right?
they're selling all the digital ones individually.
Okay.
They're just individual digital. Like, you can just buy them all a la carte.
Okay. Because when I was, for some reason, I had in my head that the only ones that were available were the physical copies,
Oh
and
yeah.
you couldn't get any digital ones. So I was like, well, I'll never see that, because from what I understand, it was like like last month they were backlogged and they weren't even like it was stupid ridiculous like trying to get a hold of a copy. But there was something special about the physical copies versus the electronic ones. I remember that much. So
Yeah. I know the physical copies are limited to like as far as I understand, the physical versions were only being sold online on the website, like in limited number.
right.
Because otherwise, then you just get them. You have to buy them the digital ones on the online stores. So like PSN and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. They even have like the catalogs and ads for this shit.
Yeah, it's just wild, absolutely wild.
The magazine advertisements.
Just crazy, crazy, crazy. Love it. Well, shit, man. I don't really have anything else I have to say about this other than it's a good purchase. I strongly recommend it for anybody who has any nostalgia for those like 90s Ninja Turtle games.
Absolutely.
Absolutely good purchase.
Ugh. I mean,
And good time. Good way to shut down 2022 2 weeks late, or not even 2 weeks, 10 days late. Mm-hmm. And ring in the 2023 10 days into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Jake, anything you're preemptively really excited about for 2023?
I am curious about the finishing of 1923.
Oops.
I'm curious about Quantumania with the introduction of Kang the Conqueror. So I'm curious about that.
I know an obvious one for me is Final Fantasy 16, motherfucker.
Oh, that's right. That's coming out too. I forgot.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16. The Resident Evil 4 remake comes out next month. No, 2 months from now, 2 or 3 months. They did HD remasters, but they haven't remade 4 yet. They're remaking all the Resident Evils. You realize after they do that, they might do a remake Resident Evil 5 already, and if they do that, I'm gonna have to be like, Jake, we need to take a couple days off work. That's coming out. There's a remake for Dead Space, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm gonna be picking that up.
Somewhere.
You have Dead Space 3.
Oh, okay. I thought we had one. I thought
Yeah.
That,
There is a rumored Transformers release of a new version of Armada Optimus Prime, which is a really cool design. And they've never done like a new version of that design outside of like the original one from like 2001 or 2002. So like looking for a new take on that. It's been teased for years. They showed a prototype. Hasbro and Takara showed a prototype like 4 years ago. I never did anything with it, and we've just been begging for it. So it's rumored to actually happen this year. I'm really excited. My statue collecting insanity almost made the top 10 this year, but just barely didn't, only because of the drama that it caused. You want to hear a new story capping that off?
Oh, here we go.
As 2022 is ending, late December, it was brought to my attention on some forums that there is a Cloud and a Sephiroth that was being made by like an unofficial group.
Yeah, it's unofficial.
You have to understand with those groups, like there's like official stuff, and then there's unofficial stuff that's made in similar numbers to official stuff sometimes, like just like because like when it comes to statues, they don't like unless it's like one on Sideshow where they make like 4,000. Most of the time, it's only a couple hundred, so they don't make like a ton of them. But then there's these super small groups who really desperately want to be on under the radar, who do like it's glorified fan art to some degree, but it's just they have connections to factories so they can get them professionally produced. And so this group that I'm not going to say their name because they've done an exceptional job of keeping their name off the radar. has apparently for the last 2 years been doing Final Fantasy statues, and I finally caught wind of them. And they've made like a Zidane, a Yuna, a Squall, a Renoa, a Vivi, a Zidane, uh,
Hmm.
a Vincent, and they now announced this Sephiroth and Cloud, and I was like, this is the best looking Cloud and Sephiroth statues I've ever seen. Like, I was just like, I have to get it on this. How the fuck do I get on this? And how these smaller groups operate is by like complete silence. It's like you have to know a guy who knows a guy to get invited into the hidden Facebook group in order to get an option to like go in on these during the short window when they're accepting like orders because they're made to order, like that sort of thing. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, how do I get on this? And people don't even want to tell you their name. I'm like,
Jeez.
one of the screenshots that got out actually had like the company's logo on it, and I was like, well, I know the logo. How do I fucking find these people? And I'm not gonna say the name, but it was a huge hassle, and I eventually tracked him down and like messaged them on Facebook, and and they responded, and they were just like, yeah, how'd you hear about us? I'm just like, well, it's funny you mentioned that. I don't know, like, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, so I'm kind of hemming and hawing. They kind of like sound like they're like down to let me and everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting in on it and getting details about costs, and then they're like, okay, message me back in early January, and we can then we'll get started on this. So I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, is this going to be it? Am I just going to talk to this person?
Yeah.
Because this seems weird. And then it came to the time the guy said to message back, and I messaged back, and it was nothing. And then I messaged back the next day, nothing. And on Facebook, when you message somebody, you can tell when they see it because it tells you. It not only tells you that they've seen it, it tells you when they saw it. So I saw every message I sent to these guys, they saw. They just didn't want to respond. And I was like, motherfucker, did I just.
Right.
And I was like, did I just spook them? Because I would like it. And I was like, oh, this must be like invite only. Like, so I just kind of came out of nowhere and I'm like, hey, I want to buy one of your statues. And they're like, I don't know who you are. We didn't invite you. So no, you can't get in. And I was kind of bummed about it, honestly.
Right. Yep. Sorry to hear
But
that.
I know. But then eventually, like, I sent out one last thing to him, like, hey, it brought to my attention you might be invite only. I'm sorry. I did not know that. That was not told to me. And hey, just let me know if any spots ever open up. And if something does, I'm absolutely interested in these things. And they did. They did eventually message me back a couple days later. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, we do have some spots. And so they have a totally separate group that's hidden in Facebook that you get invited into after that you can't find just searching. And that's where they like handle their like wheeling and dealing. And I was like, holy shit, this is a whole new world. Like, there are other statues I didn't even know. I knew the Zidane existed and the Vincent existed and the Yuna existed, but I had no idea about the other ones they've done because they've done such a good job of keeping it under the radar. Like, they just released a fucking cipher.
Weird. Wow.
Right? And they made like 99 of them. Like, that's how small scale they are. Yeah. So
Don't they have to be careful about because of copyright?
exactly. That's part of the reason that they keep it small. But they're like, yeah, we like, and that's the whole thing. And I was talking to him originally, and it was like, there's bigger fish to fry, right?
Yeah.
But those bigger fish are in China. This dude's not in China. These guys are in like France. So like, copyright, they're easier to hit.
Right. Oh.
I'm assuming, like, I don't actually have any knowledge of where they are. I'm gonna be honest. I just know I don't think they actually are in China. They just have a connection to China
I see. Okay.
to get them produced in factories. So, yeah.
Hey, did you know that Yuna's eyes are two different colors?
Motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me. Really? Two? Two different colors?
Two different colors. It's hard to believe.
Different colors. That's crazy. So anyway, long story short, I did get in on those and I did put down a deposit. And they won't be produced until second quarter. They're expected to be done in second quarter of 2024. So
Jeez.
yeah, it's a long way, and they are not cheap.
Printer and
They're very.
your own.
I kind of want to do that actually. I actually told them that that if they need help, if they need help in their box design, because they're from what I've seen, and I only saw one of the boxes, it wasn't like a very like excitingly designed art box for them.
Uh-huh.
It's mostly just a black box with like some game art cut and pasted on it, like in Photoshop. So it was like, I feel like if you need someone to design you a box, I will design you some fancy ass shit, please.
In exchange, you just let me buy your shit.
Exactly. So either way, I got in on it, and now I'm somehow in the in group. But there was this period of time where I was like, fuck. I was better off not even knowing these existed. I should have never known. I actually did end up getting one last statue at the end of the year because there wasn't any official like clouds or Sephiroth or anything like that before this ever went down. Because once I thought this wasn't going to happen, there was one cloud statue that I did really like the look of by a company called Pink Pink Studios.
Okay.
And but the pose is really generic. It's literally just the generic cloud standing there with the sword on his shoulder, like.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess for whatever reason, a lot of game character statues don't do any exciting poses. They're just standard standing there museum poses, as they're called. But like that was like Square's not making any, and I can't get into the exciting one, so this will do. And it's really cool when I got it, and it's up on the shelf, and it's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But then I
Yeah.
got it in the other one, and I'm like, well, so be it. I'm not going to complain having another cloud that's not going to come out for like a year and a half. So that was an interesting way to end the year on that whole like statue thing that is largely done now. Like there's not room for more in my current display, and who knows what my uh display situation will be as this year progresses. So we'll see. Anyway, 2022 ended on a decent note for me, and 23 began on a decent note as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Happy New Year, Jake. 10 days later.
yeah. Happy New Year, Rach.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
I don't expect anything as wildly dramatic as, the gender thing happening this year, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well,
Strange things have happened.
you never know. Come April, I'll be like, guess what, guys? I just grew a third arm out my belly button. They're like, Rach, can you just be less strange? And I'd be like, absolutely not.
I expect nothing less.
I now only wear boots on my hands and walk on my hands outside. Like, why would you make your life so difficult? And they're like, well, everything else I've done makes it more difficult. Might as well keep going.
The next thing I'm gonna do is start brushing my teeth with my toes.
Exactly. Just really hard mode everything. Happy New Year, happy holidays, happy 2023 to all the listeners as well. Hope you guys have a good ride with us, and thank you for sticking with the weird delay that we had between the episode 125 and 124. Large gap, wasn't planned. Things just happened.
Yes. Just gets to be that time of year for us. So
Yeah. So but the next episode is it'll come when it comes, but we're having a good time. As we're leaving, this is the last thing. Is there any final note you'd like to call on Kingdom Hearts, since people, who are actively listening, the last thing they heard us talk about was Kingdom Hearts 3?
I'm anxious to we haven't yet quite gotten started on this next episode yet, so I'm looking forward to getting in there and getting into the Eclipse and getting to the Keyblade yard. That'll be a lot of fun. It's gonna really eye opening. So
I have spent a lot of free time, not a lot, but like some free time since we've last played together and recorded, get kind of making progress on doing what I need to do to get the Ultima Keyblade.
Okay. Yep.
And I finished all the Mickey emblem photos.
Wow.
Now I have to do all like there's like flan mini games.
Yep.
Those are terrible. Those are absolute dog shit.
Yes, they are.
There's one where you slide around in on a shield in the Olympus that is about as bad as the Chocobo Racing from 10.
Final Fantasy X. It's dog shit. I hate it. It makes me actively miserable. And even my kids were watching, and they'll watch anything. They're like, "Can you please stop doing this? This isn't fun." I'm like, it's not fun for me either. This is miserable.
It's fun. That's funny.
Yeah.
I think that that one takes the cake. This is not fun.
Like, no, it's not. You're just watching.
But I will say, if there's any light I will give you, it's that if I can do it, okay, and I did do it, it should be easy for you. So
I will do my best. I am committed to doing that before we finish the game. Like, I will get that weapon.
yep, because I mean I did it, and it wasn't like a terribly long time to accomplish. So
Yeah, the emblems weren't too bad. So
the
it's just
the flans were a little bit more. I remember there was a couple of them I just like unbelievably cussed at. Because some of those were really stupid the way you had to do something.
oh
So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's I would say, if considering the circumstances, because in previous games and other games, you guys have gone upward and further out than I have ever did. For crying out loud, I don't know if I think you did it, but you got like Luna's ultimate weapon in 10, which is to dodge 100 lightning strikes.
I've done that before, but I did not for our playthrough because it was too miserable. But yes,
yeah, but
I have done that before.
My point is established that I never even attempted that because I knew it was too much of a pain in the ass, and it was. I would have been throwing the game and the PlayStation and anything else I could get my hands on for missing a stupid lightning strike.
You've never even done that before?
Jake. I never even attempted it.
Well, now you're too old, so.
Yeah, it ain't happening. I don't have patience for that shit. A phrase I like to use is "ain't nobody got time for that."
Yeah, that's not anymore. Not anymore.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So.
All right, Jake. Well, good times, good games, and I'm looking forward to next time, man. You have a good time.
You do the same.
See you later.
Yep, take it easy.